Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here, and this video is going to be reviewing the changes that are coming to Warlock this Tuesday, I guess technically tomorrow, depending this video goes live, to Warlock in pre-patch in the, I think they're calling it 11.0.2 build. Now, these changes have been on beta for a handful of weeks. Basically, Warlock went live in a very bugged, very undertuned state in pre-patch. It's probably one of the worst classes I've seen, like, just tuning wise and things, any pre-patch, like no shade being thrown, it's incredibly bugged and very undertuned. I'll show you a tweet here in a minute, which is pretty funny actually. But these changes are the changes that have hit beta over the past few weeks, fixing a lot of the bugs and a lot of tuning. Basically how it worked was that, so PTR was for beta, or sorry, PTR was for pre-patch, right? And they marked PTR as release, which means like, all right, cool, that's like the basically what's here is here, ready to go for pre-patch, which happened 2 weeks ago, right? Beta, however, I believe the week after and then weeks after, got a lot of tuning stuff, buffs to Chaos Bolt, buffs to Rain of Fire, Shadow Burn buffs across the board, and a lot of bug fixes. Those bug fixes hit beta, but beta and PTR are separate. Beta is actual Warworth, and when it launches in 2 weeks. PTR was pre-patch, so pre-patch stuff, PTR, didn't get updated. It went live with a lot of bugs we had on beta for a while, but these changes here are going to be fixing a lot of them. So we're going to look at the changes here, talk about the builds changing a bit, links to the builds down below if you want them, and yeah, that should basically do it. Any week orders, add-ons to the video, Twitch, Discord links as well down below if you want them, and yeah, let's get into it. So I had to go back and record this, so I forgot to do it. If you're curious about the current state of Warlock on beta, or it's not on beta, in pre-patch, I tweeted this out this morning, actually. We were doing a charity event for the past few weeks. This was the result of the last night of the charity event. In case you were wondering how scuffed pre-patch Warlock is, I put up a rank 9 parse on Heroic Fire Rack for this charity event. But I was beat by a Demon Hunter playing on a steering wheel. This happened all night. That's a picture of the Demon Hunter playing on a steering wheel. Alrighty, so a lot of these changes, like I talked about, have been pushed to beta over the last few weeks, give or take, but I want to talk about them on retail. There are some bugs they're addressing here, and some that aren't mentioned but might be fixed. I don't know. We'll see. We'll go from there. When it comes to affliction, unstable affliction damage is being increased by 45%. This is a bug, I guess, and this is also being nerfed. I thought this was nerfed a while ago, but hey, it's whatever either way. UA unstable affliction is being nerfed. Oh, sorry, buffed by 45%. Dark layer damage increased by 55%. Soul rot by 60. Agony by 40. This is the buff that was given, then taken, and given back a few days ago. Malefic Rapture also being increased by 20%. Now, on top of all this, you're fixing some issues. Fix an issue where Phantom Singularity is not correctly applying Infirmity to secondary targets, which is nice. AoE or whatever you're doing, if it's like cleaving on other mobs, you'll get the Infirmity buff. Fix an issue where Crescendo is not correctly checking if a target had UA, Corruption Wither, and Agony active on it, which is not really like a fix. It's more like a change, I feel like, which is not a very good one. We'll get to that in a minute, though. And fix an issue where Cold a Week was not correctly increasing the damage of the first 4 targets damaged by Malefic Rapture. So the unstable affliction increase essentially will take UA's damage from, I mean, probably somewhere, I think it was like roughly 6.5% to around 9, give or take, when it comes to like, a single target breakdown, right around there. The Dark Layer buff will indeed help as well. Even before the buff, this is not a build of relevance here, just to make it clear. Even before the buff, Malevolent Visionary was indeed worth playing with Dark Layer. The way that Visionary works when you're looking at like a damage-based event here, it will show Malevolent Visionary on your damage breakdown. It will show like Dark Layer's damage, and then below it, it will show Malevolent Visionary, right? Now, Malevolent Visionary, the damage event in your details meter, whenever you're looking at it, that is the second part of this paragraph or sentences here, whatever. It is the when Dark Layer extends damage over time effects, it deals damage. That damage dealt there, the 224, 451, that is Malevolent Visionary damage in your details breakdown. The first part of this that says increases Dark Layer damage by 70%, that is part of just baseline Dark Layers breakdown in your details meter. That, I mean, is being increased by 55%, and, basically that. So it will be a substantial increase to Dark Layer. Visionary does increase baseline Dark Layer damage. It also has a searing effect, which is a separate event on your meter. So Dark Layer has been around 5% for me, roughly, in single target. Not incredibly impactful, but it's much better than it was. Well, as you can say, roughly about 55% better than it was, which is something. We'll take it. The soul right damage increase is sort of whatever. It's a dot. I mean, hey, it helps a little bit here and there. I think it's around 5% after the buffs. Agony increase is also nice. It is semi-relevant when it comes to, M plus and just in general. And the Rapture increase will also help AF be, I guess, better and even smoother when it comes to M plus, single target settings, so on and so forth. Now, when we've been playing pre-patch stuff a lot, I felt like Demonology and AF have been the better two specs when it comes to M plus stuff and all that. I've been leaning more towards Demonology. But either way, this will help shore up Affliction, as well as, some of the bugs here and there. The Singularity bug change is nice, it's fine. When it comes to Cold a Week, the issue right here. So how this is working was essentially Cold a Week, which is right here. I am talented into this, right? How it was working is that this it's in bug form 2 and not bug form 1. Bug form 1, I believe, was just not working at all. Actually, no. Okay, bug form 1 was working in a very odd manner where it would increase damage on, like, if you had 5 targets on 1 by 8, on number 2 by 16, on number 3 by 24. Basically, it would stack in a weird manner by 8% each for each target you hit. That was a bug. They fixed it. When they fixed the bug, it became basically a 40% increase to any target that you rapture on, regardless of target count. So the reason we're playing this right now in pre-patch is because this is basically a 40% increase even in a single target. You have to rapture, I think, 3 or 4 times to reach full value. But basically, even in a single target hitting one mob, you get the full 5 target value in pre-patch. Which is why we pulled 2 points out of Oblivion and Xavius' Gambit and went over here into Crescendo. Now, we'll see where that goes when the patch comes around. I'm likely going to just put points probably over here in, like, Malediction, being honest. Maybe just throw a point here in, like, Death's Embrace instead, depending what I'm doing, because honestly, like, Xavius' Gambit and Oblivion playstyle, it's fine. Like, if it's better in a single target, I'll end up playing it, but I'm not, like, a huge fan of, like, remaining stationary and putting 2 shards into it. It'll likely probably be where you want to go because touch is not working in pre-patch. This is one of the bugs they did not address in the bug fixes. Touch is not being affected by mastery. It is on beta. It's not being affected by it, though, here in pre-patch. It was also not mentioned in the changes here, so we don't know what's going to happen with that. We're probably going to shift points out of here in single target and probably go back into, like, Xavius and Oblivion, maybe just, like, Xavius and Death's Embrace, honestly, maybe just, like, something like this, maybe possibly, too. Who knows? But either way, Cold Week will indeed be fixed. Now, the Crescendo fix that we're talking about here as well. So this change hit beta a few weeks ago, and it's actually not the most, let me go full screen here. It's actually not, like, the most exciting change. So basically what it says, I can make this a little smaller for you guys as well briefly here. There we go. Wherever it went, find Warlock. There we go. Fix an issue where Crescendo was not correctly checking if the target had Unstable Affliction, Corruption, Wither, and Agony active. So this change basically means, for example, in the past, if you were in M plus doing whatever, this is more an issue in War than 2, but if you were in M plus, whatever you were doing, if you open up in a pack, do your normal open or whatever, I'm playing Singularity, but it's fine. If I had, like, Corruption and Agony active on multiple mobs here, and I have my UA on one mob, let's say I have it over here with my Haunt, right, on this mob, this is my Prior mob. But say I want to, cast a Drain Soul or a Shadow Bolt over here on this mob, right, or, this mob here, or this mob here, I had a chance to proc a Tormented Crescendo effect, which is right here. It just proc off a Shadow Bolt hitting, these mobs over here. Shadow Bolt or a Drain Soul can proc it. The change in pre-patch is coming on Tuesday. It's already there on beta. Is that you have to hit the target that has Agony, Corruption, and Unstable Affliction on it. You can no longer, like, hit this one with a Shadow Bolt, or hit this, or this, or this with a Shadow Bolt or a Drain Soul, and proc Crescendo. So it's basically made it so you can't really, you don't want to, like, spread Shadow's Embrace stacks anymore because you can't get TC procs. It's made it even worse when you're playing Soul Harvester, which is going to happen in a few weeks. So you're going to spread Shared Bait procs by putting Shared Bait on different mobs, but you can't because you want to proc TC. So they say this is a fix. I think it's a pretty bad fix if it was actually an issue, but either way, on Tuesday, if you're playing TC and F and Plus, you want to hit your target with UA on it all the time. Don't spread Shadow's Embraces, don't do anything else because it's not really going to be very effective and probably hurt your damage overall. That is basically all for Affliction. Moving on to, let's see what we have here for, if I can find it here, for Demonology. So Demo, sort of like how, well, Affliction is, it's got a handful of changes. but nothing incredibly impactful from what we've had like rotationally already in pre-patch. Imp damage increased by 15%. Demon Bolt damage increased by 55%. I don't know when this even happened on beta. It might have been a while ago. I'm not really sure. Demonic cores have now have a basically a 1 in 2 chance when a dog expires to give you a core. It was 35. Now we've hit on this a lot in feedback and all that. I would so whenever your Dreadstalkers expire, each dog has a 50% chance to give you a demonic core. That is not 100%. I know 50 and 50 is 100. That's not how it works. It used to be 35 per dog. I think I would much rather have one guaranteed core, like a 100% chance just from one dog to give me a core, versus RNG being 1 out of 2, 50% for both dogs. Guaranteed cores and consistency is very, very important in rotations, and unfortunately, this changed the demonic cores from dogs. Not a good one, I don't feel. It's happened early in beta. Thankfully, they have increased it to 50%, up from 35, but it's still not that great. I'll take it. Keep in mind your dogs don't give cores. Just guaranteed cores, but a bit of a higher chance when Tuesday comes around. A couple bugs here. Fixed an issue where Shadow Touch did not benefit Fellseeker, Implosion, Gloom Slash, or Guillotine. So Fellseeker is an ability, I think it's your Pit Lord from Diabolus. It might be, yeah, it's your Diabolus Pit Lord. Doesn't matter, you're not playing it in pre-patch. Implosion, Gloom Slash, and Guillotine. This is Purple Dog. This is Implosion and Guillotine, obviously. Fixed there, which is nice. To clarify, Shadow Touched is this ability right here towards the bottom. I'm in combat, I can't show you because Warlock's in demo testing. Exciting times. I'll try and show you in a minute here either way. But that is indeed fixed. Moving on from there, we also have an issue where Demonic Brutality would not grant increased crit strike chance to your demons, which is fine. That's the talent towards the bottom of your tree, which is, if I can change talents here, give it a shot and see if we can do that here. Towards the bottom, it's right below Guillotine. It's a fine change, like it's right here. It's fine. Not really playing it in a whole lot of settings, and to clarify, Shadow Touch is right here. There is that. This has been fixed. This has also been fixed. They also mentioned Doom. Fixed an issue where Impending Doom would not summon a wild imp when Doom expires. So Impending Doom is this. This bug is fixed a few weeks ago in beta, but it's not been fixed in retail. It will now spawn an imp. The question, though, is does Doom work? Because Doom has not been applying to every target every time whenever you cast a Demonic Core-based Demon Bolt on a target. It doesn't work all the time on dummies. I've noticed it even recently in dungeons. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. People are going to say it's working for me. I'm happy for you. Legitimately. But it's still a little busted from what I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it is. That bug has not been referenced here. I'm not sure if it's going to be fixed or not. Not really sure, but we're going to find out, I guess, together on Tuesday. That's one of the bigger bugs, too. I wouldn't mind playing Doom at M+, but the builds I'm playing on retail don't have that because we've shifted out of, all of that. So I have a handful of builds here, random gibberish I've thrown in here. And unfortunately, none of them have been playing Doom because of, just it not working, right? So that ability is not working, even at half capacity or whatever. I don't really want to play it. So, but that is the gist of Demonology. And when it comes to Destruction, so Destro has the most changes. I'm going to zoom out a bit here because there's a lot going on. So let me change specs here. Destruction, we've been playing the single target Rain and Fire build for a while. Going back and forth between Rain and Fire being better in single target and Chaos Bolt, depending what you want to do. Essentially, some of these buffs and nerfs were in last week. Some of them were put in a few weeks ago. Some were put in last Thursday. So they are going to buff Chaos Bolt damage by 40%. Shadow Burn is getting a 125% buff. Now, the current builds we've been playing on retail have been CDF based. That is because all the Shadow Burn buffs that are being played on beta, they weren't put in before pre-patch went live. When these buffs do come in, you're pulling out of CDF everywhere and going into Shadowburn. Shadowburn's good in single target. It's good in basically everywhere. You want to cast this essentially on cooldown on single target. It's a very strong ability. It's very strong to execute with Fiendish Cruelty and Blistering Atrophy. A massive buff to Shadowburn coming in. Conflict rate damage being increased by 20%. Incinerate damage being decreased by 10%. They buffed Incinerate a bunch and nerfed it and buffed it and nerfed it. The nerf that came in recently knocked it down as a net nerf overall, which is likely what needs to happen to make, Rain of Fire the worst spender compared to Chaos Bolt and single target. So they're knocking that down by 10% overall. Not a big deal. You're getting a big Bolt buff, getting a big Shadow Burn buff, and there's that. You're getting a 5% Soulfire buff, which is fine. You're playing it still, even with the CDS energy being broken. It's fine. This is being increased, but it's not worth playing anywhere from what I've seen anymore, for the most part. Summon Infernal damage being increased by 10%. This is buffed, I think a few weeks ago, roughly. Rain of Fire increased by 35%. This buff, contrary to what people believe, did not really make a big difference in the Rain of Fire spam build. It was not Rain of Fire's damage that made it so good. It was how fast and efficiently it spent shards. If you've played Destro pre-patch, you'll notice that its damage, even inside Infernal, but especially outside of it, is terrible in AoE. For a lot of reasons, there are bugs, undertuned. These will help with that. So will the Rain of Fire buff. Pyrogenics is being nerfed from 5 to 3. It's sort of needed because, once again, it feeds into the Rain of Fire build. That's being nerfed by 2%. Ritual of Ruins. This spawns your big overlord, the big green Smolderon. It now costs 20 shards, was 15, which makes it essentially, it's essentially 10 when you take Master Ritualist. But either way, it'll be 15 shards now on Tuesday with Ritual of Ruin if you're taking Master Ritualist to spawn Smolderon. He's still good. Heads up, you still play him basically everywhere. Avatar Destruction. This is Smolderon. This is your avatar. It generates 1 soul shard fragment every 1 second. It was 0.5. He had a crazy amount of shard gen on him. Nerfing it is fine. You probably wouldn't feel it very much. We're overcapping a good bit, which is one of the reasons why Rain of Fire was good in single target, spending shards. To a similar extent, Infernal, also generating 1 shard every 1 second, was 0.5 seconds. So basically, half the shard gen. Still, honestly, it's fine. Not a big deal. And these bug fixes here fixed the issue where Power Overwhelming was giving 1% mastery instead of 0.5 per stack. Basically, it was reduced from, a 2-point talent to 1. And Orathin, it wasn't, I guess, coded to fix that. I don't know. Fixed the issue where 3 stacks of Power Overwhelming are being granted from Rain of Fire cast. Also, now going to be 2 with Inferno. But not like casting Rain of Fire in single target anymore. And fixed an issue where Rain of Fire could damage enemies through walls. I don't know that one. But hey, that's being fixed. So very briefly, I want to show you guys the builds we've been playing here when it comes to pre-patch. I have a paste bin, I'll link it down below, which has basically, all the builds for beta and pre-patch I've been playing. It might be a little out of date depending if things change a bunch, but I try and keep it as up to date as possible. When it comes to the Destro build, single target Chaos Bolt. It's very zoomed in. So I'm going to import this build here. We're not going to be casting Rain of Fire in single target anymore. So this build will likely shift back to the Chaos Bolt build. Now, the highest build I've seen are indeed playing Reign of Chaos. They are not playing this thing here, Crushing Chaos, but they're very, very close. And it's very, very, very close to the point where you will likely just end up playing Crushing Chaos if you're looking for more consistency and stuff. It's within, like, I think about 1,000 DPS, give or take. If that's the case, I'd rather have consistency, and I would rather play Crushing Chaos. So I'm going to probably play this build if I'm going to play pre-patch at all come Tuesday, and it will look something like this essentially. Going Devastation, Improved Chaos Bolt, Soulfire, Decimation, Full Ritual, Power Overwhelming. We're going to be grabbing Ruin, and going to be grabbing Diabolic Embers to round it all out. Now, like I said, shifting out of Channel Demon Fire, no reason to play it anymore. I mean, there's not really, like, it doesn't work with Soulfire anymore. They broke the synergy. Shadowburn getting its massive 125% buff, so you're going to play that and hit it on cooldown basically everywhere. You're playing Improved Chaos Bolt. PO and Chaos Incarnate are very close. I'll probably lean towards playing Chaos Incarnate personally, because I just like more consistency, but either way, play what you want. I will update these builds in the, paste bin link if you want them for a single target and probably for AoE as well. I won't show them all here, but that is that. When it comes to affliction builds here, so I've been recommending this build for single target in pre-patch. I changed it in the Wowhead guide. I don't believe I changed the link here, but either way, yeah. We've been playing this build with Cold of the Week for the past couple weeks because of like the bugs and stuff. Once Cold of the Week is fixed, I haven't run Sims for it. It probably doesn't matter a whole lot. You'll likely see a shift either playing a point, probably like Dark Harvest, maybe like Xavius' Gambit, or a point likely in Death's Embrace, potentially. Dark Harvest is AoE based, but it's not horrendous in single target. Malediction is not a terrible option either. If you just want, like, more crit strike chance, but you're not playing Wither at this point. You're not playing Hellcaller, so it's like, I'm not sure it'll come out on top. It'll be either, it could just be honestly playing Xavius' Gambit and Oblivion again as well, depending what you want to do, but I don't love playing Oblivion with with its current tuning and the shard cost and all that. If it's worth it in single target, you can like leverage it, sure, you'll play it. But I'm probably gonna lean more towards playing a build like this, maybe like this. I'm not even sure. Throw a point up here. Doesn't really matter a whole lot. It's pre-patched. We have a week or 2 left. Doesn't make much of a difference. But if you want it, the build will indeed be updated down below. Also, once again, they did not reference this bug not being affected by mastery. It might be fixed on Tuesday. Might not be. I don't know. Tune in and find out. I'll be right there with you. When it comes to demonology, I'm going to show the M+ build here, because I think the build we're recommending here is like, it's the build that we cooked up because things were broken. It is. So this build is what I've been playing in retail recently because Doom is broken. Now, I was playing Doom and Impending Doom for a while. I do think this is likely worth it when it comes to M+, even just Doom itself, but due to Doom being broken, we pulled out of it and grabbed other talents here. Now, I would likely play a build that looks like this. Probably just pulling out of Grimoire here as well. Yeah, pulling out of Grimoire, going into like Flame Touched here, and playing something like this. Now, if Doom is working on Tuesday, I would likely go probably here, where you can get Doom for its explosion application, whatever. You're not getting your Doom Guard, doesn't really do anything in any of the other way. Impending Doom was okay at the end of the world. I have played this build a lot on beta, and I liked it a good bit. Demonic Strength, you're playing Red Dog here. Keep in mind you're playing Purple Dog when it comes to single target, because Red Dog does not scale with haste currently in pre-patch. It does in beta. If they add the haste scaling in on Tuesday, you'll play Red Dog everywhere. They didn't talk about it in the bugs. I don't know. Tune in and find out. But if they don't fix the haste scaling, you're going to play Purple Dog in single target. This is an AoE build, so I'd still play Faharg here. And I play this, probably. A lot of passive cleave. Grimoire is just pretty mediocre at this point, honestly. You can play it if you want. Just pull a point and a Doom. Bam, there you go. You can pull a point out of Imp Gang Boss and play it over there. Bam, there you go. If Doom's not working in general, I would likely play a build like this. If you don't want to play Felguard, you can put it in Shadow Invocation, which is fine as well. It's up to you. I'm not a huge fan of Guillotine, personally. I think it's pretty mediocre, undertuned. It's not really as valuable as people think it is. I'm not going to play it, but if you want to, go from there. These builds will be updated down below if you want them in the paste bin. And yeah, that is that. But those are the changes that are hitting on Tuesday. We'll find out if all the bugs are fixed or not. But regardless, we have early access in 11 or 10 days, and I'm pumped. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully it clarified any questions you might have had about the buffs coming on Tuesday. And yeah, I guess we'll see where Warlock ends up being. We're not going to be the best class in pre-patch. I don't expect to be, but they'll help with like leveling, and they'll help just in general over the next 2 weeks until, the actual launch hits, which is like basically 10 days away from now, which is pretty insane. We're gonna have a lot of videos coming out over the next few weeks, leveling videos, spec guides, obviously a lot of things here and there about beta, and just general Warlock stuff. Things are amping up, tuning's happening a bunch, and I'm excited to get into it all with you guys. So yeah, weekly Warriors add-ons if you want them. Twitch, Discord, links down below. They're for free for you guys. At the same time, a huge shout out to my patrons, like always, for all support on Patreon, guys. Thank you a million times. It allows me to keep doing what I'm doing for y'all, making content, streaming, YouTube, all that. And without your support, I wouldn't be able to do it, and I greatly appreciate it. If you're looking at supporting on Patreon, should be a link up here, as well as down below in the video description. The war within Central Weekwara, as well as Plater, should be updated within a few days as well in the Wago. I'm adding some things to the Plater, a couple updates here and there for mobs, and also fixing like the demonology pet timers and such in the Central Weekwara. So give it a few days. That should also be up to date for launch. And yeah, we're getting close. I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are too. All that being said, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you again soon on stream. Peace.